Volkswagen doesn't give you access to everything in their software, but if you have this device right here, you practically get access to all those things, and you can customize your car that little bit much more to yourself. If you're a beginner to intermediate enthusiast and you want to try something that's not too invasive, not too expensive, this is a great option. Let me tell you about it. This small little device linked in the description on Amazon is paired with some software on your phone, an app, Android or iPhone. This plugs into your OBD2 port, but this device is called an OBD11. Normally when you plug a device into your OBD2 port, a mechanic or yourself is scanning codes to figure out what's wrong with the car. But Volkswagen and Audi vehicles, and even things like BMW, allow you to code some different parts of the software to change some different things in your vehicles. The Audi Volkswagen ecosystem shares so many things with each other, including physical parts and the software side of things. So having a device like this gives you access to things that you don't necessarily get access to straight from factory. None of it's invasive, all of it's reversible. None of it is anything you should be scared about. It's just fun, lighthearted, and simple. You're gonna see here shortly, but I went through the whole entire app and picked out 17 of what was the most interesting things to me in the software that we can change. There's even more, and it can get a little bit hectic because there's so many sub models of the Golf, including the e-Golf. There's a lot of new features since the last time I've been in this software, so it can get a little bit chaotic. Just make sure you read the fine print, but I picked the 17 that I believe that you'll focus on. So let's walk through it together. And make sure you stick around to the end, because the very last one could be the difference between you crashing your car or not when you're out in the hills with your friends on the weekends, on an early morning, late night. It affects the drivability of the car. And my car that I bought, someone coded it to a different setting than what I would put it on, and it made sense why it was acting the way it was. So stick around for that. So you pop in your GTI, go down here, find the OBD2 port, plug it in. Lights are gonna come on. Do your push button or your key, get the ignition on. I'm gonna make sure my lights are off so I don't kill any battery. The battery on my GTI is a little low from doing the planning for this video, so I'm gonna hook my jumper up to it. So if you're worried if your battery is low when you're coding the software like this, make sure the battery has sufficient power. This company LastFit sponsored today's video, and they have a full package of LED lights for your GTI. If you have a 2018 to 2020, right now we have high beams, low beams, turn signals, and map light. Whether it's inside or outside, having the brightest lights possible in your GTI is going to make your driving experience much better and have more confidence driving at night, avoid accidents, animals maybe crossing the road. Let's toss these in. Got the headlight out, plot twist, little teaching moment. Check this out. I've never had a car that had this. Gonna pull it apart. I have the highest lighting option on this car. There's a bunch of wires. This is an LED module for the low beam and the high beam. Bunch of wires in here. This car has the panels, the LED panels inside. So if the lights go out on this specific GTI Autobahn, I have to get a whole new headlight assembly. Now, most of you, and this is why we're sharing it with you, have the car that comes with halogens, and you can swap out to LastFit high and low beams, turn signals, and have a sweet upgrade to get way brighter setup. I'm not able to install them, but you'll see it'll have the same effect. I'll show you what they look like at night. You could totally upgrade the lighting on your GTI. There'll be information in the description. We're gonna pick one person from this video to send a free combo package to for your GTI, so you can swap all this out. How you get entered will be in the description. The LS Plus series is the brightest line LastFit offers, designed to meet the needs of all of you to have the highest and best visibility on the road. These are very high quality and heavy duty when you feel them in person. And then the Pro series, these are made to fit cars like Volkswagen, Mercedes that have a little bit tougher of fitment with most lights, but these are designed to fit very snug and perfectly fit to not have any looseness or difficulty installing. Upgrade your lighting on your GTI using code AUGD2 for 20% off until August 31st. The link's in the description. Thank you LastFit for sponsoring today's video. First thing, your ignition's on. You're gonna hit connect on the app. You're gonna select your device, let it do its thing. Let it read the control units, takes a few moments. This part of the app is great because you can use it to scan your trouble codes, check engine lights, and things like that. But at the bottom you'll see the apps, and this is where the coding and changes go down. These are ordered 17 from my least to most interesting to me personally items that I picked through for you. You can see there's a bunch. We're gonna go through them in this specific order, but the first one is lights show mode. Remember when I said least to most interesting? This is extremely anticlimactic, but I didn't remember seeing this in the past when I had the other Mark 7 GTI many years ago, if you were here for that. This function activates a light sequence that alternately flashes different lamps in the headlights and taillights. It runs for about 5 seconds. Let's see what this does. All right, let me activate it. I'm gonna keep it 100. If you pull this out and you try and show me this, we need to talk, okay? We're not gonna do this. I don't care what show, parking lot, I don't care how cool or new to cars you are. This ain't a Tesla, okay? I'm big bro right now. You're little bro. Don't pull this out. We're gonna pop over to the workshop tab for number 2, brake pad replacement. If you have a DSG, if you have the automatic version of this car, you need to put the electronic parking brake into service mode to get the rear pads out in the correct way. This app and the OBD11 device is super helpful for that. So it releases that parking brake, makes it possible for you to pull the pads out and replace them. So make sure you know that this is there and you don't just think it's a regular car going back there and trying to rip them pads out, and the next thing you know, the electronic parking brake pushes the piston out of the brake and you're like, what's going on? And like, did I brake? It's just, let me put you on. Number 3 is the inspection interval and reset. So when you change oil, you don't necessarily need to pull out a logbook. You could, but if you change the inspection service distance, here we go, change value. Put it on 7,500 kilometers. That's almost 5,000 miles. You're gonna wanna do your oil changes in that if you put some good 5W40 liquid moly in your engine, or the 0W20 if you prefer, and then you can do the inspection service reset. This is a 2-for-1 special right here. Then you can reset it. Mine was throwing the light. I just changed oil. I changed it to the 7,500 kilometers, and I did the reset in this app. Super helpful, way easier. Number 4, 2-for-1 special again. Let's make some adjustments to the fog lights. What are some options we have? So one thing I like is the fog lights with auto lights. So when the lights come on, we can actually have the fog lights always stay on. I love this because when the headlights are on, fog lights look nice. We have some LEDs in the car, so it looks good. But if you want your fog lights to come on with your DRLs, so your daytime running lights, when you're driving around during the day, you have the nice little DRLs. The fog lights can come on with those if you want. So let's show you. Go ahead and hit change value. We're gonna go to on. Then you notice the fog lights turn on. So when the DRLs are on, fogs are on. I don't necessarily love that look. I love the simplicity of having them off, as you see there. But what I do like is the DRL on with auto. So I'm gonna change this. I already have it on. So then when my headlights go to the on position, you can see the fogs came on. I didn't have to pull the button, and then the DRLs dim a little bit when the headlights are on. But I love this look because I love when my fogs are on. Now I don't have to separately turn them on. The next one is the seat belt warning. There might be 1 or 2 of you out there that work at a job where you're on a piece of private property, where you gotta get in and out of your car all the time, and going 5 feet and putting your seatbelt on is a waste of time and dumb. This would be super useful. And I want to make that note. Like, it would be so clutch because the dinging is just, if you were on an 8-hour shift. I've done jobs like that in the past where like you just got to get out, get in, get out, get in. And I wish I could have done that. If you had a car like this, you could turn that off. I'd be glad I knew it was there. So that's there. But if you're anything like me and you don't do that, I'm leaving it on because I want to be reminded in case the weird day I do forget, because seatbelts are like the most important thing when driving fast cars specifically, or any car, but especially for us that like to drive fast. Please put your seatbelt on and think about others over yourself. Even if you got hurt, if you got killed, what if a seatbelt saved you? Don't take that lightly. My mom taught me well with that, and I never forget it. I don't want you to forget, and don't abuse this feature. The next one is the mirror dip in the setting menu in the multimedia interface. So mine's already on. If we go to settings, we go to mirrors and wipers, lowering in reverse, we can select or unselect that. It adds this to it. If we turn this value to off, this will actually disappear, but it's nice to have that option. For some reason, the reverse mirror dip does not work on my car. It's only the passenger side that will turn on. So I'm looking over there and it doesn't dip when I put it in reverse. I followed all the things. If anybody out there has done this before and you had this issue, does it not work with manual cars? It used to work on my old Mark 7 that was automatic. I don't know what's going on, but this was a useful feature to back up alongside a curb or into this car lift or your garage, things like that. Number 7 is adjusting the brightness on your hazard switch. So if you want to simplify the lights on your dash, we can change the value by off all the way to 100%. So let's go to off to show you the difference. Turns completely off. Change the value to 40%. just on a little bit. Let's go the least distracting possible, but still there. We'll do 20%. Nice little touch. Very similar to that, we're gonna go down to the mode button illumination. I have it set to off, but when it's on, as you know, it's this glowing orange. I just don't feel like that's necessary. It's a little bit distracting. So nice little customization is to turn it off. Boom, looks clean. This one's pretty cool, window auto drop. And when you open your door, it goes up and down, and this is just gonna let air in and out as you close the door, so you don't need as much, you're not fighting any air pressure in the cab. So every time you open, mainly close your door, it closes with a much softer swing. It has a spot for air to escape. It's the little things, you know? So our daytime running lights are on. Pay attention how this third brake light is off. We can turn it on so that when the DRLs are on, our third brake light is on. This is kind of a cool feature. I kind of like it. If anything, it's just gonna help you be seen when you're driving during the day. Hopefully someone doesn't rear end you. We're gonna leave this one on. I don't have the car running, so I'm gonna have a little Christmas tree, but don't worry about it. Let's do the dashboard theme. So in between your gauges, we can do a standard or dotted. So if I change it to dotted, you have these little red lights. I feel like it matches the car a little bit more. Kind of a vibe, so we're just gonna leave it at that. Now, when we get in and out of the car and we lock and unlock it, what sound does it make? You can actually change this value on it. So we can do original, via normal horn, via short horn, and via sounder. Sounder is basically on this car, it doesn't have like an Audi like chirp noise. The only thing you can do I like is the short horn. So I'm gonna change it to normal horn, and then I'm gonna show you what the short one sounds like. All right, so this is normal. Just activated the short. Just a little bit shorter of a chirp of a horn sound. I like that one. It's less annoying when I get home late at night, because the horn with the lock button, not the quietest thing on this car. One of the most annoying things, that noise. It's like, I know if my lights are on, I'm not gonna forget that. I know if my door is open, I don't need you to chime. I don't need you to chime, okay? So we're gonna change value, all doors, or we're just gonna change it to off. Activated, done. Number 14 is the comfort windows menu. So we're gonna change value, have it adjustable. It adds to the car settings menu, opening and closing. We can go to convenience opening, all windows, driver, or off. This allows you to open and close the windows by holding the unlock button or holding the lock button, and it will roll up or roll down the windows. So if you're walking up to your car and it's a hot day, you wanna let the hot air out, you can hold it, unlock button, it'll roll all of them down. Maybe you're going on a night cruise and you just want to have the windows down open, you can open them before you even start the car. This is another weird thing with this car. I don't know if it's a salvage title, like things were messed with. This also does not work for me. I don't know why. I have all the settings on. If anyone has any tips for my car specific, let me know, because this feature worked great on my last Mark 7. So I don't know what the deal is with this one. Number 15 is coding in the remote trunk pop feature, but we need to install the hatch pop kit from ECS Tuning on this specific car. Let's do that real quick. There'll be a link in the description to order this kit. That's a free way to support this content to help me keep reinvesting, strengthen numbers, get a really small kickback. But if you want this or any parts from ECS, those links in the description, just clicking them, taking to the site and using them is the best free way to support myself and what I do here and my small team. So we're gonna open this, take out the hardware. I have my mop here with the handles, so if I need to hold the hatch up, it's there. Step one is sticking our pick tool in this little spot, pulling this out. That will release it. That will allow us to take that off. See, it's gonna fall now. We'll do the same thing down here. Pick tool goes in here, pull this out just a little bit to make some space on this style clip, and then it will let that fall out of that spot. Now we're gonna take a 13mm deep socket, break that loose, put our new one in from ECS. Looks like it makes it a little shorter to make some space. Snug it up, pop the bottom one on. Boom. That one will hold it. Do the same exact thing on the other side. Might have to twist it a little bit, pop it on. And that's it. Something to keep in mind with this mod is it's going to make closing it a lot more firm. Like right here, you really gotta, but man, when you pop that open now, Now let's code it with the remote now. Remote boot pop / trunk release. So now when I have that value on, which this car already had it on, you can change it. I want to hit the button on the remote. If I have groceries or something, boom, walk up to it. So there's this thing called Urban Joke, and it's kind of like, huh? So if you search it, you're gonna see the Euro version, V2, V1, and front pace car indicators. Let's focus on the rear lights. It's the only thing I thought was interesting. I like this one the best. This is what the OEM blinker looks like. We're gonna go to change value. We're gonna turn it on, gonna be activating. Now you can see when it's on the on one, gonna be doing this. Kind of cool. So that's what that does. We're gonna turn it to off. Now we're gonna go to V2, turn it on. The V2 version is just this top over here, the top half almost. And that's the difference. Turn it off. Gonna do some weird stuff while it's activating. I'm gonna go back to V1 and turn it on because I like this one the most. And that's Urban Joke. Number 17, the most important, interesting one to me is the ESC off permanently, and not what you think at face value. It actually has quite a few options. If we hit change value, we're gonna see a bunch. ESC button inactive, ASR off, ESC sport, ESC off, ASR off, ESC off V1. The one I have, ESC sport, ESC off V1, ASR off, ESC off V2. I like the ESC sport off V2. Yeah, let's change it to that one. So I'm gonna activate this. What this does is when I click this button, it's gonna turn my traction control to ESC sport by one press, sport mode. Then if I press and hold it, it's gonna completely deactivate it. Now let me put you on something real quick. You need to know the difference between ASR and ESC. ASR is anti-slip regulation, and what it's gonna do is only focus on the wheel spin aspect of it. So when you're under full load, my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, is when the car has a bunch of power to the front wheels, it's going to cut ignition to keep the wheels from spinning too much. So when I previously had the ASR off, I would hit the button, which is what the previous owner set it to. I would hit the traction control button, I would floor it first, second, it would break loose, and then it would get into the power band and the exhaust would go like brr, brr. And what's going on is it's limiting ignition at that high torque. So when the wheels would start spinning, it's cutting power to keep traction down. I don't necessarily love that, but anti-slip regulation is just that aspect of it. But ESC stands for electronic stability control. The ESC system is an umbrella for a couple things. You've got ASR, anti-slip regulation, we just talked about, when the wheels are under power. Then you have ABS, and that keeps your brakes from skidding. So when you get on the brakes really hard, it keeps your brakes from locking up the tires and just skidding. Because when you're skidding and you input steering control, it doesn't move the car. But if your wheels are rolling, it will let you steer the car. So if you're in an emergency situation or a really hard braking scenario, you have the ABS on, it will actually keep the wheels from locking up so that you can hit the brakes as hard as possible while steering and still maintain control of the car. Now the reason I'm turning ESC off with the hold of the button is because I feel confident in my driving. I went to a 7-day rally school driving. I've been driving my whole entire life. There are pros to being able to lock up the front wheels, and in certain situations you don't necessarily need to steer. You need to come to a dead stop as fast as possible. Sometimes in certain situations, being able to control that opportunity to lock up the wheels but then let off a little bit to keep it rolling, you have to really know yourself well to be able to use that to your advantage. So I want to have that because I feel confident in that. Another element is yaw. It's using the yaw, like where's the weight of the car, how's it rotating right now, and the car will actually do two things using the yaw placement or measurement of the yaw when you're driving the car. First thing it can do is apply brake pressure. Yes, the car for you will apply brake pressure to a specific wheel. So if you're over rotating or you're skidding sideways, it can know, hey, let me help you out real quick and put some pressure over here on this brake and straighten the car out. The second thing it can do is reduce torque in the ECU so that you don't put yourself in a bad situation to keep the vehicle straight. It can't add throttle, it's only gonna add brake or cut power. So all of those things make up the electronic stability control, and the ASR can be separated a little bit. Think about all those, keep those in mind, and then you can choose which value you want to do for this specific setting that is so powerful in the way the car handles, drives, under hard driving conditions. Depending on your skill level, confidence level, you can pick one that applies to you and maybe change it, test some things out. Please be super careful when you go out to the canyons. I don't want you to wreck your car turning ESC off. Use that as a diaper, as like a band-aid, like a crawl, walk, run scenario. Like go out, get to know your car, leave it all on. You'll find the limits of it. You might find the limits of your tires first, and then it will start kicking and you're like, oh, I feel it cutting power, oh, or applying brakes, pressure, whatever. And then you're like, I still feel comfortable though. Then go put it in sport mode. It's gonna let you play a little bit more, but it can still save you. So just be careful, go learn it. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Totaling your car is gonna ruin cars forever for you. So just be careful. That's all of it. Grab your OBD11 device in the description. That's an absolutely free way to support what we do here. And if you want to see me install a stage 1 tune and an intake, I encourage you to check it out here. Or if you want to see the wheels and tires, I'll leave that on the screen as well. Get caught up on this car. We have a lot more to do. We're gonna have a lot more fun with it. Thanks for being here.